Now, closely related to this, except that it's not been reported in the newspapers that we have, because I haven't seen it yet, but what we're being told is that the Attorney General's Department and the Foreign Affairs Ministry are collaborating with the Office of the Special Prosecutor to do two things: to help locate where he is, and also to, trigger an extradition, an extradition sort of what's even the word? To sort of extradite him to Ghana. So the Office of a Special Prosecutor is not taking this matter lightly at all. It's on Interpol Red Alert Notice, and so on and so forth. Now, I'll start with you as usual, Kwesi. Is the Office of the Special Prosecutor on track in dealing with this Ofori-Atta matter? And what do you make of Ofori-Atta's reasons why he can't physically be available for questioning?
Well, I think, first of all, we need to look at the position of the law, the legal position. The law is very clear that persons who are being investigated for crime or who are being prosecuted for crime have no duty to help in their prosecution. The law is very clear on that. You understand? So, to that extent, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta has no duty or responsibility to help the special prosecutor find facts to prosecute him with. And that's the position of the law. I mean, you can check from any lawyer and so on. Now, even the law recognizes that spouses cannot be compelled to give evidence against their partners.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the position of the law. Now, this should mean that the special prosecutor can carry out the investigations, or could carry out the investigations, or should carry out the investigations without the assistance of Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta. It is possible. Okay. However, we are advised by some lawyers that when you are being investigated and you are innocent, it is important for you to be as cooperative as possible in order to unearth the true facts which may prevent prosecution. Because if you cooperate with the investigative agencies and so on, give them all the facts and so on, and they come to the conclusion that the case they are building against you will have no merit in court and so on, there may not be prosecution. So sometimes cooperating with the relevant security agents and so on is in the interest of the suspect or the accused person or the person of interest. You understand? Now, having said that, it's also clear that in some kinds of investigations, not all, the investigating authorities would want to have the cooperation of persons who are being investigated. You understand?
Right.
For various reasons. And that, when the investigating authorities are also convinced that the investigations are likely to lead to prosecution, they would want to have the targets of investigations in the jurisdiction so that they can be properly prosecuted and convicted. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So it is not unusual for investigating agencies and authorities to seek to have the targets of the investigations or persons of interest in the jurisdiction. It happens all the time. I mean, only recently, that guy who was accused of being the mastermind behind the robberies of Mrs. Eminsata and so on was extradited from Lome.
Yeah.
Okay? Not just that. These Nigerian gangsters who were also reported to be behind the kidnapping of Ghanaian women were extradited from Nigeria.
Right.
And that principle applies to every citizen, including Ken Ofori-Atta. So the special prosecutor may initiate moves to get his extradition, and it may succeed or may not succeed. Because then he has to convince the authorities in the countries where Mr. Ofori-Atta is that he has actually committed a crime, he's needed to answer questions and so on, and that he has a good case, and that Mr. Ofori-Atta's rights will not be violated. These will be conditions upon which Mr. Ofori-Atta can be extradited to Ghana. It is possible, it can happen, it may not happen, I don't know. I'm not a soothsayer, you understand? There are other matters of interest. Now, Mr. Ofori-Atta is saying that he has prostate cancer. And because he has prostate cancer, he's unable to come back to Ghana, to assist in investigations into suspected crime. Now, that is interesting. Because of the principle of equality before the law, I've been to the Nsawam medium security prison at least on 2 occasions. I've stayed at the Kwesi prison for 3 months and a number of other prisons, including Wild prison and so on. And my brother, I can tell you as a fact, the number of persons who have been convicted who have prostate cancer is not insignificant. That's a fact. And again, if you look at the medical statistics, most men between the ages of 55 upwards,
Even from 40.
now some 40 years,
40,
but I think most.
Yeah,
I mean, now most of the medical people, when you go there, they will tell you that immediately you hit 40.
Yeah.
Go and check.
Take it seriously.
Go and check. So prostate cancer really is not debilitating. Many people have it. I was going to mention this clinic just around the corner. If you go there, the prostate cancer department, the cancer department, the oncology department, is full of patients and so on. They go about their normal duties with prostate cancer. You understand? These days, even new forms of surgery have been designed, non-intrusive surgery and so on. You do it, the next day you're on the plane, you are flying. It's not any wonderful thing. You understand what I'm saying? Now, even if you put this aside, the other issue simply is that if you're using the state of your health as a reason for your inability to appear before investigative agencies and so on, you ought to provide proof. And the prescribed proof is a medical report, not a lab test result. You understand? Now, when I listened to the special prosecutor, he stated that Mr. Ofori-Atta had indicated that he couldn't come because he was sick, he was scheduled for surgery, and that he was ready to make his biopsy,
Biopsy. Yes.
whatever, Charlie, some of these words. But biopsy report available for examination. And I'm saying, hey, what is happening here? That's a lab report. That's a lab report. Since when did a lab report become grounds, become an excuse, even for absenting yourself from work? Lab report. You are working in the civil service and you want an excuse duty. Do you take a lab report? Even that, your lab report will not be accepted. So what he promised to present falls far short of evidence of ill health. Far short. You understand? Now, be that as it may, the special prosecutor has declared him a wanted person. And it appears that he has triggered all the processes, for his extradition. I want to wait and see what happens. I've always insisted on this platform and other platforms that even murderers have rights. People who commit murder, they have rights. And that those rights need to be respected. Mr. Kenneth Ofori-Atta has rights. And those rights need to be respected, even if in the final analysis you'll be proven guilty. But you see, history, especially recent history, has a way of playing tricks with us.
How do you mean?
When we allow the tricks to be played. Because I remember when Honorable, your people, including Andy Appiah-Kubi and others, called on the president to fire Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta for many reasons, one of which was not stated, which was his ill health and so on.
You mean the gang of 89?
Mr. Ofori-Atta, you remember he responded. He said that he had had problems with his liver, but his DNA was so strong that he could continue to be in office as finance minister. Don't forget that.
But
when it comes to his position as finance minister...
No, but that was at the time.
His DNA has changed.
Maybe.
Hey, Moro. Moro.
At the time. Not now.
And so the DNA has changed.
Yes.
His DNA is no longer strong.
Yes.
The DNA which could fight his liver condition
is not there.
Is incapable of fighting his prostate cancer.
It's non-existent now.
Okay, no problem. If that is what you say. What can I do? I'm not a doctor. Am I a medical practitioner?
Moro is a professor.
Professor of medicine.
I'm just saying that what we say, we should be careful what we say. Because in one instance, as for being finance minister there, your DNA is so strong that you can continue to be finance minister. When it comes to answering questions before the special prosecutor, your DNA becomes so weak that you can't even fly. Bah. Once I finish.
I said, well,